It's an ancient art steeped in Japanese history. A highly choreographed ritual where every move has meaning.
I don't think anybody really ever masters it. Every single detail, every step of it is planned. It's considered an art.
But it's so easy to be seduced by the ceremony that you forget about the tea. The world produces something like 600,000 tons of green tea every year. 1/6 of that comes from here in Japan, where producing green tea is an art and science in itself.
This green tea that they have here is unique. And it's one of those things that you just start getting addicted to without becoming aware of it.
That's where Kevin Moore comes in. He thinks about green tea the way some people think about wine.
Well, you have $10 bottles of wine and you've got $100 bottles of wine. And green teas, you can compare it a lot to wine. You don't know until the very end what you're going to get.
It's why Moore likes to oversee all aspects of production as part of an ongoing mission to find the best green tea in Japan.
There's so many steps involved in producing green tea, from the time you pick it, from when you grow it, to the time it's finally produced.
It all begins in fields like these in Shizuoka. Green tea tastes differently depending on how it's grown. While most is raised in the sun, tea grown in the shade is said to be sweeter because fewer tannins make their way from the roots to the leaves. But it all comes from Camellia sinensis, a tropical plant that needs warm weather, so it's threatened by the frost.
Frost will develop under certain conditions where the humidity is just right and the temperature is just right and there's no moving air. So they put fans to keep the air moving if they're worried at all about frost.
Picking comes next. While some is still done by hand, it's now mostly done by machine. And the top 2 or 3 leaves are considered the best.
There's different ways they harvest it. By and large, they use machines that come and cut like a lawnmower and will suck it into a bag.
As soon as it's picked, it's straight to the factory. Here, it's a race against time to process the tea. While all tea comes from the same plant, what sets green tea apart is how long it's exposed to the air. As the oxygen interacts with enzymes in the leaves, it changes the color and taste of the tea.
They have to keep them moving so they don't generate heat. Everything begins to oxidize immediately. If they're oxidized, they start to turn brown, and green tea will no longer be green.
What follows are a series of steps, each with its own challenges, starting with steaming. The person doing it must know the tea intimately. Where it was grown and when it was picked will determine how long it's steamed for.
They're taking up the conveyor belt and they're steamed for a certain amount of time, anywhere between 30 and 90 seconds, depending on the tea. It keeps the tea green. This is the first stage of drying. The tea leaves are put into this. They're rolled with a machine that simulates, that's shaped like a hand. There are little paddles in there that bring it around and around. The idea is to get the moisture out of the leaves. And that's to prevent the tea leaves from, oxidizing and from, to preserve them. Inside the inner parts of the leaf, it's a little bit more difficult to get the moisture out. So that the leaves are rolled tight to get that moisture to come out.
It will take one more stage before the tea is ready.
This is where the tea takes on its needle-shaped form. The tea's rolled really tight, and this is basically the last stage.
So what's the verdict? What do you think of this tea?
Well, the only way to know is to try it.
As a connoisseur like Moore, who sells green tea all over the world, it all comes down to taste.
delicious.
Tasty in the tea house, but the tea in the factory at the moment isn't the best. That's because it's a lower grade known as Bancha, which comes from the last harvest of the year. For the best green tea, Moore must wait until the spring. That's when Shincha arrives, the highest grade, renowned for its subtle, mellow taste.
I don't think this could be produced to this level in any other country. When it comes to green tea, the Japanese are the masters at it.